Hello everyone, my name is Mabel Udo. Today on Our Voice, I'll be talking about how are you living with your neighbor? Who is a neighbor? A neighbor is someone who lives next to you. Your neighbor, someone who lives next to you. Your neighbor, maybe the place where you live. The person that lives next to you is your neighbor. In your office, your colleague, you could as well say they are your neighbor. Anyone who lives next to you, or anyone who you are closely related to, people who you meet on a daily basis, people who one way or the other you can't do but you must come in contact with them. You always have something that brings you in contact with them. You get to see them on a daily basis. You can as well say those people are your neighbor. How are you living with your neighbor? What can your neighbor say about you? Can your neighbor speak well of you? I want you to know something. If something happens to you today, before your family member will come, the first point of contact is your neighbor. Something happens to you in the middle of the night and you're alone and you're not able to, when you scream or something, it's your neighbor. And if you're not living right with your neighbors, they will just look at you and they will pretend as if they didn't even hear that you are crying or you need help. So if you have the habit of saying, I'm on my own, I want to face my own, I don't know how to relate with people. No. Even if you don't want to relate with everyone around you, maybe everyone in the flat where you live, or the compound where you live, or in your office, at least have a cordial relationship with one or two persons or three persons. No man is an island. No woman is an island. No girl is an island. We all need people. And your neighbor, you need to balance the relationship with your neighbor. Try and live well with your neighbor. You don't know what will happen to you. Let's take, for instance, you're cooking and you just run out of gas. And then you really need to prepare that food. If you have a cordial relationship with your neighbor, you can ask your neighbor to please, can I quickly use your gas, or can I just finish up this? And if you have a cordial relationship with your neighbor, he or she will allow you. This is another one. Let's say you went out and somehow something dragged and you came back late. And in your house, you guys don't have any gateman or security person that is in charge of gates, opening and closing of the gates. You guys do it yourself. And you're stranded in the night and you're eating the gates and nobody can come out to open. If you're not living well with your neighbor, do you think they will hear you knock and come and open? But if you're living well with your neighbor, when you bang the door 2 or 3 times and you mention your name, or they even hear your voice, they will come out and open for you. Think. If you're not living right with your neighbor, adjust. One day you will be stranded outside. One day you will need somebody to help you. Balance your relationship. No man is an island. Let's take for instance another one. You guys are a married couple and your wife is heavily pregnant. Sometimes labor pain, you don't know when it will come. Even when they tell you expected delivery date is this, sometimes it doesn't really happen. Sometimes, so let's say for instance now, labor pain strikes, your water break, and you can't really, your husband is not around, and then you're in pains, and because you just fought with the next person, or simply because you have not been talking to your neighbor, you just feel, I don't want to mix up, I've learned, I've been dealt, I don't know. Labor pain strikes, and you're there shouting, rolling on the floor. That's your first child, you don't even have idea of what to do. If you're not living right with your neighbor, who will come and help you? At that point, I'm talking about emergency issues. How are you living with your neighbor? You really have to live right with your neighbor. Let's say you're stranded, something happened, you're at work or something. So when emergency comes, we don't know if they are unplanned for. Things just happen. Okay, and your child is stranded in school. Is there anybody you can call? You don't have nanny, you don't have any, but will you be able, please, can you just help me pick my child? Or please, my child is at home. Or can you please just help me buy something for them, or until like, oh, can my child just take, I forgot the key or something. Can you really call your neighbor and your neighbor will help you? Or let's even say there's a fire outbreak and you're nowhere to be found, you're not around. Can any one of your neighbor call you, madam, or God, where are you, or come, or something that concerns you, an emergency situation that concerns you? Can your neighbor call you freely and say, come, oh, Mr. Lagbaja or Mrs. Sarah? Dear listeners, if you don't have a cordial relationship with your neighbor, it's about time you adjust. Just a simple, hello, Miss Mabel, how are you? Oh, that's a lovely dress you have on. Or you see them at the parking lot in the morning, hi, good morning, just a smile, hello, have a nice day. Initiate a conversation. Be approachable. Be approachable. A smile can go a long way. How are you can go a long way. Welcome, good evening. Nobody is saying you should become tight or become, just learn to balance your relationship. You never know where you will need help or from whom you will need help tomorrow. If you are not living well with your neighbor, do well. Start today. Thank you all for your time. Remember, your voice is who you truly are. There's power in your voice. Use it wisely. Learn to give a helping hand. Learn to be approachable. Do well to follow me on Facebook. It's Mabel Udo. On Instagram is Mabel_Udo. Subscribe to my YouTube page. Just type Mabel Udo. Subscribe. Watch videos. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.